The Salomon DRX Bliss here is a stability shoe with some of Salomon's newest technology, the active chassis, designed for optimal guidance and stability while running. So how did this new technology here work in testing, and are you going to want to get your feet into a pair of the DRX Bliss? Let's find out. Well, hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I want to let you know that Salomon did send the DRX Bliss to me to review. They're not going to see this footage ahead of time. They're not telling me what to say. Like always, I'm going to share my complete honest opinion. If after this review you are wanting to purchase a pair of the DRX Bliss, look below in the description. There is a link. It is an affiliate link. It does help support the channel, but it does not cost you anything extra. Well, first let's talk about the stats of the DRX Bliss. It is a maximally cushioned stability shoe like I mentioned, and there is a little twist to the shoe. However, that active chassis is making it a little more rigid, and this is taking quite a bit of force to make it do that. As for the sack height of the DRX Bliss, both the men's and women come in at 34 millimeters in the rear, 26 millimeters in the front for an 8 millimeter drop. I gotta say, I normally prefer a 4 to 6 millimeter drop. It's just what I found works best for my foot. And I did notice in about the first mile or so running in this 8 millimeter drop, and I've noticed it in other shoes as well, a little bit of knee discomfort for me personally. However, after that first mile or so, it kind of went away, and I really enjoyed the shoes. As for the weight, my men's size 11 weighed in at 10.5 ounces or 297 grams. Really, that's not a bad weight considering this is a maximally cushioned shoe and has this active chassis, which we'll talk about more in depth here shortly. And just for reference, that is about a half an ounce heavier than the Hoka Clifton 9, which is also a maximally cushioned shoe, and it's almost the same weight as the Hoka Mach X, which features that P-Bax plate through the midsole. As for the length of the DRX Bliss here, my men's size 11 fit just like other Salomons in the 11 size for me. No issues with the length at all, but we will talk more about the fit in just a moment. However, keep in mind that if you do have a wide foot, this unfortunately is not available in a wide. Hey, real quick, I wanted to share an interesting stat with you guys. Well, at least I found it interesting. So apparently only about 20% of you that watch these videos are actually subscribed to the channel. So maybe if you like this video, if you like my shoe reviews, my other content, if you would consider clicking that subscribe button, that would mean a ton to me, help my channel out a lot. While you're down there, go ahead and click that thumbs up button as well, and that would also help the channel. Well, moving on to the upper of the DRX Bliss. It is an engineered mesh designed to be plush and yet breathable and very comfortable while keeping your foot secure. There are a few overlays you can see kind of going around the front of the shoe and also coming off the lacing system to help provide some support and that comfort. Speaking of that breathability, take a look at the tissue test. You can see when I switched that hair dryer on low, the tissue came up pretty decently. Then when I switched that hair dryer to high, the tissue came up very quickly, stayed up, showing it is pretty breathable. Honestly, when I first put these on my feet, I was a little concerned that they might not be very breathable and be a little warm. However, I'm happy to report that I was wrong, and they are actually pretty breathable. You can see it in the tissue test. I've felt it on my runs, even in the 90+ degree weather here in Colorado in the summer. The toe box of the DRX Bliss provides plenty of room for my average to narrow size foot. I didn't have any issues with my toes rubbing at all. Moving up the shoe to the medial arch here, really, again, it felt totally fine for my foot. I had no pinching, no discomfort issues at all. I would say if you're familiar with Salomon and you've tried some of their other shoes, it feels very similar to the Aero Glide here as far as the width of that medial arch. So if that works for you, these should work pretty well also. As you can see, the DRX Bliss features their normal laces, not the quick lace system. They tie very well. They are a lay flat type of lace. They're very comfortable. There's plenty of lace there if you have a more voluminous foot. For me and my foot, the laces were a little bit long. Really not an issue though. The tongue is decently padded. It's not plush, but it's not thin either. There's just enough there to provide protection to the top of the foot from those laces. I had no issues at all with any discomfort. Even on 1.5 to 2 hour runs with these, my foot was plenty comfortable. I should also note that that tongue is not gusseted on either side, but again, no issues for me. Moving around to the rear of the shoe here, the heel collar, it is very nicely padded and plush feeling. It's very comfortable. I had no issues at all. The heel counter itself, there's definitely a little bit of flexibility there, but the angle of it is really nice. I had no issues with discomfort on my Achilles at all. Combined with that lacing system, the nice plushness of this heel counter really provided a very good lockdown for my heel. I had no slippage at all either. Overall, it was just a very good fit. Overall, I gotta say the upper of the DRX Bliss is very comfortable. It breathes well, provides a comfortable, plush feel to keep your foot secure and keep your foot happy for those long miles. The midsole of the DRX Bliss features Salomon's Energy Foam, which is pretty nice and feels good underfoot. There is a little bit of response to it, but let's not kid ourselves. It's It's not a plated shoe. It's not, you know, some super critical foam, but it does feel pretty good underfoot. This is, after all, a daily training shoe designed for those longer daily miles. Like I said, I've taken it up to about 2 hours and really had no issues with discomfort at all. It felt very nice. Where the shoe does differ in the midsole, though, is Salomon's new technology, the active chassis. You can see that here. This is the orange bit that goes through on both sides of the shoe, and it's made from a TPU material, so it is has a little bit of flexibility to it. It does move some, but it also provides a little extra stability and guidance to really help your foot roll through those transitions well as your foot makes contact with the ground. I really don't run much instability shoes, so I don't have a lot of experience with them. However, I gotta say, this one feels really nice. It's not something that you're gonna notice excessively. However, I did notice that when my foot landed, it seemed to pronate less. You know, it didn't seem to snap in as much as sometimes my ankles do. And it felt really good on those longer runs. Overall, I gotta say, I quite like the midsole and this active chassis of the DRX Bliss. I could definitely see myself using this shoe a lot going forward. It just felt really good. The active chassis was, you know, I tend to be more of a neutral runner, but this just felt really good. The outsole here of the DRX Bliss is Salomon's Contra Grip rubber, which you can see there is quite a bit of it going around the outside of the shoe and a little bit right there in the forefoot. And it does seem to be wearing pretty well so far. I've got close to 50 miles on these now, and they seem to be wearing very well. This rubber is known to be pretty durable, so I expect it to last quite a while. Grip has been fantastic on any type of paved surface. I've even used these on, you know, some really buffed out Colorado hard packed trails, and they did really well. I was honestly quite surprised. Now, I wouldn't recommend taking these on trail or specifically mountain trails if it was wet. Anything like that, you know, it's not gonna grip well in that situation, but if it's dry, hard packed, it should be just fine. I've used these a lot for routes where I run maybe 2-ish miles on pavement to get to a trail, and it works really well in that kind of road to trail situation, again, for those really dry trails. If you take a look here in the middle, you can see there is quite a large, you know, decoupled groove essentially. And I thought there might be a little more flexibility to that, but as you can see, it's not really providing much flexibility. However, it is reducing weight as well, so that's kind of the purpose for that there. Overall, pretty simple. It's, you know, it's a road shoe. The Contra Grip works well. It provides good grip, and you can even take it on some trail. So yeah, it's a pretty good outsole. As for the price of the DRX Bliss, it retails for $160 US. I gotta say, I think that's a little bit high for a maximally cushioned daily trainer. Yes, it does have a TPU active chassis in there as well. I don't know, I just feel like this would be better suited in like the $145 to $150 range. That's just my 2 cents. Well, the bottom line of the Salomon DRX Bliss is, honestly, this was quite a nice surprise. I was surprised by this shoe. The upper is very comfortable. The active chassis is nice while not being overpowering. So if you were somebody that maybe needs just a touch of stability to your stride, then I think this is gonna be a fantastic option for you. But I wanna know your thoughts. The DRX Bliss has been out for about a month now. Have you had the opportunity to try them? What did you think? Did you like that active chassis in there? How did it feel? You know, let everybody know. I'm sure they'd be very appreciative. Well, if you have not seen the Salomon Aeroglide review, it's another maximally cushioned shoe that I liked pretty well. Take a look at that review on your screen. And then on the other side, I'll throw up the Salomon playlist as well for more shoes to take a look at. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one.